It's the season premiere of Wealth magazine Business Access, and on this episode, we feature the no-nonsense Metrey Seaga, a serial entrepreneur who has demonstrated passion and innovation throughout his career.
I've had businesses that failed miserably. You dust off your backside and you get up and you go to work next morning and find something else to do.
Showing us what it means to be resilient and dogmatic in his pursuit to building brand Jamaica, and represent his fellow manufacturers as president of the JMA.
Hi, my name is Metrey Seaga. I'm chairman of the Jamaica Productivity Center, Jamaica Special Economic Zone. I am the president of the Jamaica Manufacturers Association, deputy president of JAMPRO, and a director at JFP. I'm a 54-year-old businessman. I've been in the business world since I'm 21. Finished university in Florida, came back home immediately and went into my parents' business. Started many businesses along the way. Rent-a-cars, travel agencies, distributorships, services, minibus business. You name it, I've tried it. Some have been successful, some have not been, but you know, the best way to learn is by trial and error, and I tell my kids that often. So right now I am a director at JFP, Jamaica Fiberglass Products, where we're a manufacturing company, contract manufacturing company. And that's very fulfilling to me as a businessman, because it shows how you can take products from raw materials and really produce world-class products with them. My sojourn into the board room, so to speak, outside of my own businesses has been a recently new phenomenon. I have been asked to sit on and chair or co-chair quite a few boards. So that to me is my giving back, and I've mentioned to you some of those boards that I do sit on and how I plan to give back to my country. I grew up in a reasonably normal home. I never thought of my parents as having money or being broke. My parents gave me, I thought, everything that I asked for, but now as I'm old, I realize that's not so. I have two siblings that are natural siblings and one adopted brother. I'm the oldest of the bunch by a significant margin. I'm 6 years older than my sister, 12 years older than my second brother, and 18 years older than my last brother. So I guess that gave me sort of a paternal role in our family. My family was a typical Jamaican family. My both parents worked. They worked in their own businesses. My mother used to sell life insurance for a while, and then she started her own business. My father had a store all his life downtown. So a fairly typical childhood. As a child, I used to go hunting with my father, bird shooting, and that was always fun, and I looked forward to it and was excited about doing it. A fairly typical childhood, doing the normal things that kids do in Jamaica, climbing mango trees and riding bicycle, and nothing out of the ordinary. I guess a life-changing experience for me in growing up was when my parents adopted a child who was from a different socioeconomic background, and taught certainly me and our entire family a lot about some of the benefits that we had as children growing up that he didn't have. And now he's a full and integrated part of our family. I went to high school in Jamaica, I guess some would consider a soft private school at Priory. I went there from kindergarten, so I'm not sure why or how I ended up there, but that's where I went to school all my life until fifth form, when I left and went away to college. I went to a community college, Miami-Dade Community College, and then on to FIU, where I studied business management. And truthfully, I can't tell you that I learned very much in college. What I've learned has been coming back home and being in business. I guess college taught me how to study, how to organize my life, how to live on my own, which is a huge thing. But the actual schooling part, I can't tell you that it taught me how to take one and one and put them together and make two. That wasn't what college was about for me. I came back to Jamaica in the early 80s. I finished school and I had a choice. My father had a manufacturing business and my mother had a rent-a-car company. And I had a choice as to which one I was going to go into and run. It was around the time that the manufacturing industry in Jamaica was on a decline, and I decided to go into my mom's business. That worked out well for me. I remember one of the things that was important for me to know is that I was playing a role there. I wasn't just because I was the boss's son that I was going to walk in and get a cushy job. So I made sure that, and I was saying this to my son the other day, I made sure that I was the first there in the morning to open the doors, and I was the last at night to close the doors. Because I had to make everyone know that I was worth my weight being there. I couldn't just, I guess I could have, but I didn't. That's just not my nature. I needed to know that I was contributing. So I ran that business alone for a while, and then I moved on to other things. I started a couple of different companies, as I had mentioned earlier. Some were successful, some were successful for longer. The current business that I'm in, I started with my business partners now. I started that business 32 years ago, and it's still running today. We employ about 100 persons. And to me, that really makes it worthwhile, knowing that the 100 people that I employ and their 3 or 4 family members I'm helping to contribute to their well-being. It makes a difference to me, and I know that at least I'm giving something back. My parents being in business certainly had a huge impact on me being in business. I used to remember going down to my father's factory as a early teenager, and watching garments being sewed and watching them being put together and help to wrap them and going on the road and selling with him. So that taught me how to be an entrepreneur. It taught me how you buy something for $5 and then you sell it for $10. Yeah, so that certainly helped me and I guess pushed me in that direction. I've had businesses that failed miserably. You dust off your backside and you get up and you go to work next morning and find something else to do. So I have to make sure that every day I get up and my feet hit the ground, I hit the ground running. Being in business takes backbone. It takes a lot of resolve. You're going to fail. You're going to have roadblocks. You're going to have bumps in the road. And you have to be able to go over them, climb up, over, around, under. However you can get around them, you have to get around them. I've had businesses that failed miserably. You dust off your backside and you get up and you go to work next morning and find something else to do. I remember a colleague of mine, much older, telling me one day, telling actually a government member, he said, listen, I'm a businessman, I'm going to find something to do. So if you make it difficult for the particular industry I'm in, I'll find another. But remember, I'm going to put those people out of work. And to me, that made me realize the mindset was that as a businessman, I'm going to have to earn my keep every day, not just some days. So I have to make sure that every day I get up and my feet hit the ground, I hit the ground running. And I make sure that I know my responsibilities and I know that I have to meet them. Whether it be to my employees, whether it be to my bank, whether it be to my investors, whether it be to my shareholders. I have got to make sure that I meet their demands or I'll be out of a job, one way or the other, either by being fired by a board or by not having customers in my business. I've always liked manufacturing. There's something about taking a raw material and turning it into a finished product and seeing people use that product. There's something about that that's very rewarding for me. I've been a tire salesman, I have been in banking, I have been in the car rental business, I've been in the travel agency business, I have been in the minibus business, I have been in the real estate business, I've been in the development business. And I'm sure there's a few I'm forgetting. But nothing has been as rewarding to me as manufacturing. And the products that I currently manufacture and the company that I'm a director of and shareholder of is JFP. It was formerly Jamaica Fiberglass Products. When we started 32 years ago, we started out as a fiberglass manufacturer, but we evolved over the years. And they say in business, either innovate or die, and we had to innovate along the way. So we now are fiberglass, woodwork, metalwork, upholstery, solid surface, acrylic. So we have a lot of different factories all rolled into one in a 75,000 square foot facility that manufactures restaurant and hotel furniture for many of the places that we frequent as Jamaicans and around the Caribbean. For example, we did the entire furnishings for the Marriott Courtyard Hotel that's recently been put up in Kingston. We did the Spanish Court Hotel about 8 years ago. We do all the KFCs and the Pizza Huts. So furniture like that Jamaicans go into and use and see on an everyday basis. They're manufactured right here by Jamaican people and designed by Jamaicans here. And we actually export a lot of that furniture right throughout the Caribbean. So that to me is very fulfilling. And it's where I've settled. It's not the easiest way to make money, but it's not pushing around paper. It's actually doing something physical and seeing the result of it at the end of the day. And I like that. Any business that I'm in or organization that I'm in, I try to get involved in the associations and the organizations that aid and abet those companies. So the GMA was a natural fit for me. I got on the board, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. And I guess because I have a big mouth, I can't sit by and hear things being said that are not right without saying something. So I go to meetings and I speak up, and I guess when you speak up, they rope you in to come and do the work. So I was on the board for a couple of years, then I became the deputy president. And I learned a hell of a lot from the president of the day, Brian Pengeli. It's a long process and it's a hard process when you're negotiating with the government. There are a couple of things that are critical. One, we have to change the procurement policy in Jamaica. The people that are purchasing goods and services on behalf of the government with Jamaican taxpayers' money, I feel should be buying local when and where possible. The current procurement policies don't encourage that. In some cases, it doesn't allow it. And I think that we need to change that. So we've been working very closely with the old MIIC and now the new MICAF to change that procurement policy. And I would say we're quite a ways down the wicket where that is concerned. And we hope to have some resolution within the next couple of months with a document that can go to cabinet, that can be approved, so that you will start to see a change. Because if we're spending Jamaicans' money, we should spend it at home first. When I ran as president, I looked at four things. Was procurement policy, factory space. We need suitable factory space for our members. There is a void of factory space available in Kingston and St. Andrew. And that's where we need to be, near to the ports, near to our suppliers. And we have been working very closely with Factories Corporation and hope to see something come to fruition within the next 6 months. But what we are looking for is some factory space at very, very low rates, specifically to drive development of small and medium-sized companies. The third component is, as manufacturers, we need low interest rates. We are currently paying, depending on the size of your company, you could be paying as high as up to 18% for money. It simply is not, it doesn't allow us to be competitive. And if we're going to be competitive, we need financing at 4%, 5% the maximum. So we recently met with the Minister of Finance. We did meet with the Development Bank of Jamaica. And I'm happy to say that discussions have started to that end. The fourth point, and probably the most serious of them all, is crime. A lot of people don't think that as a GMA we should be talking about crime. It's not in our purview, and I completely disagree. Crime is all our problem. I'm going to leave my contribution to be judged by others. My contribution is putting 100 people to work every day. If I can continue to do that, that alone will be a big enough contribution. Jampro was a board that I was asked to sit on, and it's been very rewarding. Under the chairmanship of Don Webby, CEO of Grace Kennedy, I again have learned a lot from him. His leadership style, his understanding of corporate governance and things of that nature have taught me a lot. So, yeah, it's been a pleasure to work with him and with the entire board and the organization there at Jampro. So it's been a rewarding experience so far, and I think the board as a whole has started to move things in the right direction, and I'm looking forward to investment being up significantly in Jamaica. My career is what I do, it's not who I am. So there have been great moments, signing a big deal, any big order. Signing Spanish Court was a big deal for us because it was our first hotel. Christopher Issa, the CEO of that company, really gave us a shot. They were the first hotel that we did. And it really catapulted our company to be able to do more hotels, because we could say, listen, here's a hotel that we have done. Go and look at it and see. And the level of work was world class. And so that was a good moment. But the truth is, for me, it's all about family. And when you go home, you leave all that at work, no matter what big jobs you have gotten or how successful you have been. Or for that matter, on the converse side, how bad things are at work. You come home and your kids smile at you, everything is all right. My sojourn into public life, so to speak, or sitting on boards, or government boards or agencies, is a recent phenomenon. As a matter of fact, it's the first time I've been appointed to a board. So I'm going to leave my contribution to be judged by others. My contribution is putting 100 people to work every day and paying my taxes and being a good corporate citizen. If I can continue to do that, that alone will be a big enough contribution. Everything else I do will be brought up to building Brand Jamaica. I think the responsibility keeps me motivated. I know that people are relying on me. I know that my workers are relying on me. I know that the various boards that I sit on are relying on me. And I guess I have an innate want to do a good job in whatever I'm doing. So that in and of itself keeps me motivated. And listen, the fact is that I realize that I'm very blessed to live in this country that we call home. And I don't have to deal with a lot of the vagrancies that other places have to deal with. So I live in paradise. I get up every morning to 80-degree weather and no snow flurries and any of those things. So yeah, what more would I want to be motivated? I remember one time in a PSOJ meeting, Dennis Layla said to me that a good reputation takes years to build, and a bad reputation takes minutes to develop. And I always realized that and thought about it, and everything that I've done in my life, I have tried to bear that in mind. And I've spent the last 50 years building my reputation as an honest, decent, hardworking citizen of this country. So it would be foolhardy of me to do anything. So anytime I get a stupid idea in my head, I realize that it's taken me a long time to build this reputation. Don't go and screw it up now. People do have a misconception about me. People, because of my last name, they think that I'm political, and I'm automatically positioned in the Jamaica Labour Party. Truth is, I've never been political, and don't expect to ever be. Like all Jamaicans, I have a right to vote, and when I go behind the voting booth, I vote for who I want to vote for the reasons I want to. But people think that because of my name or because of other silly reasons, I'm connected politically. When I have friends on both sides of the political divide. As Jamaicans, we need to realize what we have here. We are blessed. Our people are amazing people. What we have to do is we have to stop letting the handful of people that are ruining our reputation internationally continue to so do. We need to stop them, and we need to stop them now. My family life is actually a strange one. I have 2 kids from a previous marriage, and my current wife has 2 kids from a previous marriage. So we're kind of a Brady Bunch type of family. So there are 6 of us in our family now. And we all live close, and my kids are older. They are 22 and 20. My son just finished university, my older son, and he's back here in Jamaica. The very day that he finished school, he was back home, started a little business here. My other son is in his 3rd year of university, and he expects to come back to Jamaica immediately. My wife's 2 kids, my stepkids, are younger, 16 and 14. My stepson is a golfer, so he wants to be a professional golfer. And the 14-year-old, she doesn't quite know what she wants to do yet, but she wants to be an actress, but who doesn't at that age? So, yeah, we make it work. We have a blended family, but we make it work well. What does wealth mean to me? Wealth certainly is not money alone. Wealth is about good health, about family, about friendships, about quality of life, and definitely about money. What is wealth to you depends on where you are and what your needs are at the time. So if you are sick, a good hospital is the greatest wealth to you. And if you are hungry, a meal is the greatest wealth for you. Most people view wealth as money and money only. And money is very important. It can buy a lot of things. But a couple of things it can't buy is love and health.